Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is JJ, and I'm so glad you're here. I am a writer, as you know, and for the last few months I've been sort of taking my time recovering a little bit from binge writing an entire 4-book series. And today I wanted to talk about a little bit what I'm doing in the waiting, because that's what a lot of trying to become traditionally published is just the waiting. So, there are certain things that you can always do as a writer, and these are the things that, depending on your goals in writing, these are the things that you'll be doing in order to make it. For me, that looks like I am continually submitting my novels, plural. I'm continually submitting my series to literary agents. My goal right now is, because it's the only thing that's actually sustainable for me, is to do about 5 submissions per month, just because that gives at least 5 new agents eyes on it every single month, while I wait to hear back from others, and it just adds into the ability to possibly increase my chances of getting a literary agent to take me on. So I'm submitting to about 5 new agents every month, more if I can manage it, but usually my brain quits and I really only do have about 1 day per month to be able to do that. So I do that. Another thing that I do is I keep brainstorming and keep writing. Just because I have 1 book on query or 4 books on query doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep creating more books. My goal is to have a library of possible work to publish by the time I get a literary agent. That's my goal, because that also means that if for some reason one of my books doesn't do well with the publisher, we might be able to get a different of my books in with the publisher, or vice versa. If one of my books hasn't been picking up any agents, by having more books to submit to agents, I can increase my reach, because I'll be able to submit to more agents at a time, because I'll be able to submit multiple books to different people. Well, not like that. I'll be able to send, rather than only having one thing that I'm waiting to hear back on, I'll be able to send other books to other agents, and therefore be in front of multiple agents more than I can with just the 1 book. Yeah. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. I also, in the meantime, will be editing my novels, still continuing to build them up and get them up to par with each other, mostly, get them up to my standard of everything that I want them to have. That's a lot more time consuming than I always try to make it out to be, and it just takes a lot more energy, and I try to give my novels a rest period between writing and editing, so that I can come back and, if I'm lucky, not get swept up in the story, and rather actually be able to just look at the words. Or if I do get caught up in the story, I'll be able to look at it from the lens of a reader rather than the person who created it, and that can be super helpful when you're editing, because you'll be able to see the different things that you would normally miss. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm continuing to build my platform. I am continuing to submit my novel for publication, well, for representation, at least. And then on top of that, I'm also working on a new novel. I just began working on a new novel. I've had the ideas and the characters kind of floating around in my head for a couple weeks now, but they weren't ready. They weren't talking to me yet. I didn't have the full picture. And so I actually started abandoning that idea and started going after a different one, and then that idea came back and knocked on the door of my head, if you will, and said, "Hey, I'm in this story. This is my story. This was the piece you were missing." And I was like, oh. It all made sense then. So I am back in the process of writing another novel, which is super exciting. This one should be a standalone. I'm very excited about this story. It's very different than what I've written in the past, but similar enough that I think it would still be a great introduction to my writing and my brand and my style. So here's hoping that it works. I'm going to keep pursuing it. I was thinking about doing it for Nano, for Camp Nano, and then I realized that I have too many things to be able to actually set aside time for an entire month to try to do this. So I'm going to try to do it as possible. Like, my goal for July, rather than doing Camp NaNoWriMo, and I might still like announce the goal anyway, just to give myself a way to track it, is to have 15-minute writing sessions every day. Which isn't a lot, but it's something, and I feel like right now something is better than nothing. So we're going to try to do that, because at least that'll give me the ability to dive into the story every day and keep progressing things. And if I can continue progressing it, then it can eventually someday be finished, which is, the end goal. So, but that's what I do in the waiting. I do this in the waiting. I edit in the waiting. I am working on building all of my followings and all of my interactions with my fan base. I really appreciate all of you who have joined me, wherever you came from. I'm so glad you're here. It's super fun to have more than 100 of you now. That still blows my mind on a regular basis. I can't believe you're all here, so thank you. Please, by all means, check out all of the short stories that I've written. Though there's a playlist right there for you. Check out my short stories, check out all of the writing tips if you're an interested writer, check out the Writer Reacts to Memes videos that I do, because honestly, who doesn't love a good meme every once in a while? And I will see you next time, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update and talk about what I do while I'm waiting, because publishing is waiting, and then everything goes quickly, and then we're back to just waiting again. So, thanks for coming on this journey with me, thanks for being patient with me in the waiting, and I can't wait to see where we're able to go together. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.